You think the problem is you don't have enough money, but the problem could be what you're actually thinking about money and doing every single day with the money you already have. Guys, look, becoming a millionaire isn't nearly as complicated as most people think. In fact, the math is actually pretty doggone simple. You earn a steady income, you spend less than you make, and you build an emergency fund so you aren't constantly starting over. Stay out of bad debt on things going down in value, and invest consistently the whole time. Give it enough time. That's the formula for building wealth and becoming a millionaire. So here's the question. If the math is so simple, why do so few people actually become millionaires? The answer is actually pretty easy. The math is simple. The behaviors are what's hard. So let me explain why the behaviors are so hard. First, most people already know what to do. Let's be real with this thing, okay? Most people already know that they should be saving more money. Most people already know that they should be investing more money. Look, people know that they shouldn't buy the things that they can afford or live above and beyond their actual means. That's the basics. Knowledge is not the problem. The problem is behavior. There's a big difference between knowing what to do and actually doing it. This insistence on doing the opposite that we know to be the right thing to do is what plays a large part in why people do wrong when they know what's right. And listen, I'm not telling you this because I read it in a book. I'm telling you this because there was a time in my own life when my own net worth at the age of 30 was a negative $30,000. I had to learn all this stuff the hard way. I was not rich. I wasn't brought up and raised in a middle class, well-to-do family or anything like that. I wasn't winning with money all my life. I wasn't financially free back then. What changed was not my intelligence. I didn't get smarter. It wasn't some magical investment I made, right? What happened was I simply changed my financial behavior. One decision at a time. No excuses. I didn't ask the system to do better. I didn't ask the system to change and let me in. I didn't ask the system to lower its standards or to give me a share of somebody else's wealth that I didn't earn, right? I changed my behavior. And guess what? When I changed, everything around me changed in terms of my personal finances. I raised my expectations of me and my standards went up. And that's when I started building wealth, when I changed my own behavior. So why is doing the right things with money so hard for most people? Well, it's not because people are just lazy. It's really because the world we live in today actually rewards bad financial behavior. And I'm not saying it's the world's fault, but I am saying it's our reaction, our behavior towards what happens in the real world. Think about how we're bombarded every single day with advertisements everywhere, social media, billboards on the street, right? Commercials. We can't go anywhere without being sold to. And think about how easy it is to finance everything out here, especially here in America. You can put food on a credit card. You can finance your house, finance your car, finance your clothes, finance your furniture, finance your education through student loans. Everything that you want to buy can be bought just through financing or putting it on a credit card. You can get it right now and pay for it later, no matter what it is. What that does is it develops a habit and a culture of excess and a habit and a culture of gratification right now. And it really alters our behavior. Another reason behavior is a problem to control is simply lifestyle inflation or a lifestyle creep. Everybody wants to always get the next big thing. I make more money, so I deserve to have more. And even if you haven't managed your money right, you still think that I make more money, so I deserve to have more. Then there's comparison. You got social media, instant gratification. All of these things make it incredibly difficult to behave better with money. That does not excuse our own behaviors with money, but it is to say there's some outside sources that have a heavy influence that we need to be careful about. Every single day, somebody's trying to convince you to spend your money, and oftentimes it's money that you ain't even got yet, right? You haven't even earned the money, but they're trying to get your money from you. And most people, what do? We go for it, right? We fall for it hook, line, and sink. Now, here's the deal, though. In order to build wealth, you have to intentionally vow to be different. I believe that wealth is built in these everyday, ordinary moments. Nobody becomes a millionaire because of one decision. Like, that rarely happens, right? Most people become millionaires because of thousands of little decisions throughout the course of 10, 20, 30 years. Buying a less expensive car that you could actually maybe pay cash for. Cooking dinners at home more over the course of years adds up. Paying extra on bad debt. Not getting into bad debt in the first place. Skipping an unnecessary upgrade of one of the gadgets or cell phones, whatever it could be. Investing automatically every 2 weeks or every month. And watch this. Not borrowing from the money that you're investing, not taking out a loan against it and just letting it accumulate for 20 or 30 years. See, the deal is this: millionaires are not created by any of these extraordinary moments. Most times, like 99% of the time, right? We hear about those millionaire moment stories, but that's not the norm, okay? Millionaires are created by regular, ordinary decisions that are repeated over and over and over for decades. Now, let me talk about the 4 behaviors that I've found mattered the most, at least in my situation, okay? First, if I wanted to become a millionaire from starting with nothing, less than nothing at the age of 30, I had to think differently. See, everything starts in the mind. My belief about me and who I was and what I could achieve and what I believed about money, all of that had to change first right here. Before I acted different with money, I had to think differently about money. Really important. Now, the second behavior that I had to sort of adopt and do and take on if I wanted to become a millionaire intentionally is I had to take inventory of the low-hanging fruit that was already within my reach all around me. That means I had to stop looking at my job as just a job and start seeing it as a possible wealth building tool, a wealth building engine that I could utilize and start using my job instead of just allowing my job to use me. That meant I had to take advantage of what the job had to offer. I had to get the match in my 401k at my job, right? I had to understand that I'm getting skills at this job that could parlay into higher paying jobs down the road. I'm getting experience on this job. Maybe I went into some supervisory roles or tried to become a manager or tried to do things on the job that would set me up for more money at the next job. That's looking at your job as a tool as opposed to just looking at your job as a way to pay bills. And the other thing I had to do was I had to lean on my gifts and strengths and the things that I had within me that could help me possibly increase my income. Now, the third thing that I did, the third behavior, was I needed to stop letting money control me. And I started intentionally controlling money. I had to get organized with my money. That means I had to get an emergency fund, right? I had to do a budget so I could know exactly what's coming in and what's going out. That budget helped me measure for many, many decades my monthly behavior with money. I had to do a net worth statement at least one time a year. That net worth statement became my measurement for my yearly behavior with money. So what I'm doing is I set up systems to organize and control my behavior with money and held myself accountable and responsible for the organization of my finances. I had to pay off the bad debt. I had to control me. Because here's the deal. When you control your behavior, money don't have a chance on you. You control you, not money. Now, the fourth behavior that I had to do is I had to put my money to work for me. One of the primary purposes of money, guys, is to make more money. Yeah, we want to pay bills with our money. We want to save more money. We want to help other people with our money. All of that is good. But your money should be employed by you. Your money should be out working for you. You're the employer. Your money is the employee. Take your money, take the money that you get, and you need to flip it. Understand how to flip it into making more money. How do you do that? Through investing. Your money should always be making more money. That means for me, I had to bring in more money and then take that extra money and put it to work. How? I became an investor in assets that appreciate over time. Remember, this is the fourth behavior to actually become a millionaire. See, most people want to start with investing. Oh, I got to start with investing. I got to get more money, got to put more money to work. But listen, if you don't think right, if you don't do the other 3 things that I mentioned first, you're just going to mess up the investing piece. Let me say that differently. If you don't think right, if you don't take advantage of your job and the low-hanging fruit that you already have access to, like your gifts, your skills, your job, etc. And if you don't manage the money right, then this fourth step of investing and making more money don't matter. Growing your money, putting your money to work for you is the fourth behavior for a reason. But everybody wants to put it first. Let me put it like this. If you have $100,000 invested, but you're bad with money and you have the wrong mindset with money and you don't manage the money right, how long do you think you're going to have that $100,000 invested? Not long. See, what a lot of people do is they try to take this behavior of making more money and investing more money, and they try to pile on more money on top of bad money behaviors. But more money don't fix bad money habits. It just magnifies bad money habits. You think the problem is you don't have enough money, but the problem could be what you're actually thinking about money and doing every single day with the money you already have, right? What are you doing every single day with the opportunities that are already at your fingertips, right? See, if you skip the first three behaviors that I mentioned, then your investing or the fourth behavior won't reach its full potential. It never can, because you're not thinking right, you're not managing the money right, you're not taking advantage of the low-hanging fruit that's around you, and then you want to go pile on money on top of all that. Don't do that. See, why do most people never become millionaires? It's not because they're not smart. It's not because they just don't earn enough money. It's not because they never got lucky or it's the system that's holding them back. No, it's none of that. It's simply that most people never consistently change their behavior when it comes to money. And I know some of you may be saying, well, I just don't make enough money. Well, guess what? If you're breathing and blinking on this planet right now, you have the opportunity to get some more skills so you can make more money. Now listen, if you have something going on, an illness or some type of ailment that prevents you from doing that, I totally understand it. But most people don't. Most people can go out and get higher paying skills. Most people have all the information they need right now to think differently, to manage the money differently, to take advantage of their job or whatever they have available to them, and then ultimately to invest more money. Most people can do it. Look, if you remember one thing from this video, please remember this. Becoming a millionaire, it's not reserved for a special group of people. It's not reserved for somebody that's a genius, right? It's not reserved for people who are just born into wealth. It's available to ordinary people who are willing to make extraordinary commitments and changes in their behavior over a long period of time. And that's why I believe the math is simple. The behavior is hard. Look, if you can master the behavior, the math ultimately will reward you. Look, if this video helped you see wealth building differently in any way, do me a favor, smash that like button below, drop me a comment. I want to hear from you, and share this video with somebody who you think needs to hear it. Remember, the best person to take care of that old you is the young you. Until the next video, peace.